is up, everyone? Welcome to the No Life Digital Podcast. We really don't have too much for you today. We're just kind of winging it. There's not too much news going on, but yeah, let's just jump into it, man. We're just gonna hang out with you, talk a little bit about some gaming and tech, and then get out of here. What's up, dudes? How was your Easters?
It was alright. Passover, so tons of family.
How was your Passover? Did you get passed over?
I'll tell you that the Seder took like 2 hours.
What
we
is
didn't eat
that?
till like 10 o'clock. It's like the ceremony where we
That's
just,
what I thought.
it's like, oh, here's the 10 command, like not 10 commandments, like here's like the 10 plagues, the Exodus, why we celebrate, yada, 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 why you can't eat leavened bread.
Do you remember the story? I don't remember. I forget what it was, but it was when they painted the X's over the doors, and then the Holy Spirit came and was taking the firstborn. Well,
You got part of that right.
Yeah.
is that what Passover is about?
You got painting doors.
Yeah.
How does the story go?
The story goes is that the final plague is that God will take the firstborn child
Right.
in order to show God which houses that he should not go to of his faithful, of the Jews. They coated the doors in lamb's blood.
Right.
Hence the term Passover. God passed over those houses. And it wasn't like, an X or anything like that. It's the lamb's blood over the house, signifying that this is a house of the holy.
I don't remember what I watched, but they signified it with they painted the blood. They painted an X of blood on the door or something.
No, it was Veggie Tales and they used carrot juice.
It was definitely a cartoon. I don't remember the cartoon though.
It's probably VeggieTales then.
I've
Probably
never
was
seen one episode
That
of
or
fucking
VeggieTales.
VeggieTales.
It's either that or Rugrats.
No, it was like Disney animation, some sort of Disney in it. But it was kind of like an older thing. It was kind of graphic from what I remember. But so that is Passover. Cuz we were talking about it on Easter, me and my family, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the firstborn son being taken, and you had to paint something on your door, and if you painted on the door, you'd be passed over. And that's where the term comes from.
Quite literally the last of the 10 plagues. The other plagues being raining blood, raining frogs, the water would turn to blood, raining frogs, locust,
Right.
That's later.
things like that.
Now,
Well,
why
that's like-
wouldn't you paint? If you knew that was going to happen, why wouldn't you paint your door? Unless you wanted them to take
The
your firstborn.
Egyptians didn't
Did
they
they believe
don't
it?
believe in God. They believed in, their gods.
That and
They believed in Zeus.
where the fuck are you gonna get a lamb at like a Tuesday night?
Oh, there's lambs all over the place over there.
And the whole reason that the Jews eat matzah is because during Passover, once Pharaoh said, "Get the fuck out, like go, I don't need this shit anymore." They didn't have time to cook their bread with like the stuff to make it
leavening?
right. Yeah, so they had to only cook with unleavened bread, which created matzah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they get to the sea. The God parts the sea, and then as soon as the Jews cross, crashes it upon Pharaoh and his troops as they decide to chase.
Yeah. Okay. So I was right. Haha, mom and dad. In your face.
Yep, there's a whole ceremonial plate and everything, and
Close enough.
Yeah, I
The
used to
food
date a
sucks.
Jewish girl who would make matzo ball soup all the time.
matzo ball soup is legit.
I don't know about that.
I love matzo ball soup.
I don't know about that. It's kind of
Gefilte fish can
bland.
fuck itself. Like
You're
I
definitely
hate-
not a fan of the gefilte fish either.
it's slimy and gross. I don't know how people eat it.
Remember Rush Hour? How did that scene go?
Gefilte fish. Gefilte fish.
How did he pronounce it, Jackie Chan?
Gefilte fish.
Gefilte. Yeah, I just chilled. We went to the shore because it was pretty warm, and my in-laws have a beach house, so we hung out over there. Got the beach was pretty much empty, so River was able to run around on the beach by himself, which was awesome, off the leash, and he was loving every second of it. Supposedly, there's an area of the beach, like in the marshland. If there's no wind, there's these big ass greenhead flies that'll come and just fucking eat you up, dude.
LBI, Long Beach
It's
Island,
the worst.
on the south part of LBI. We had one summer we went there.
You can't.
and
You'd have to leave.
It was just swarms of green-headed flies just eating us.
Yeah, and they hurt, dude.
They suck.
They fucking hurt.
They
It's
got
not
into
as
the
bad as a
car.
sting, but it hurts.
Yeah, because they bite you and it hurts, and then it leaves a freaking rash behind that you just want to scratch.
Yeah, they're no good, dude. So
Ocean
don't.
suck.
Yeah, don't. If you ever go to the beach, don't go near any sort of marsh and just hope there's a breeze. There's usually a breeze, and then if there's a breeze, it's not too bad. But if it's stagnant, they will fuck you up, dude. But other than that, yeah, just chilling, man. Oh my god! Also, we had these crab cakes. Oh, it was the best crab cakes ever. I fucking love crab cakes, but when they make them right, like with minimal breading, and most of it's just like nice jumbo lump fresh crab just smushed together. It's nothing better, dude. I ate fucking 6 crab cakes.
There
I
you
munched
go.
down on some crab cakes.
There you
Plain, no tartar, no sauce, nothing. I just ate them.
Yeah, no, you don't put any fucking. I don't know. Sorry, I love seafood, but I always hate all the traditional seafood sauces. Tartar can go with some fish, but for the most part, like every like fish sauce or like cocktail sauce, all that I hate it.
No. Sometimes I like warm drawn butter with like
Yeah.
lobster and crab and stuff, but these were so good you didn't need any of that. The breading had enough seasoning in them. What else happened? I don't think anything else. I've still been playing Sekiro, which is so fucking hard, dude.
I mean, I've been so busy. I wasn't here last week, and I was busy enough that I forgot that Easter was even happening until like 4 or 5 p.m.
On Easter?
on Easter. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not very
Call
eventful
from my
holiday.
mom, just like, where the fuck you at?
Oh, you're like, what? Oh, it's the day the bunny rabbits come out.
We did nothing for Easter. Like, my dad's side of the
Normally
family is
don't.
Jewish. My mom's side of the family is quote unquote Christian, though it's really just my mom and her brother. And my mom works on Easter anyway, so we didn't do jack shit.
Yeah, it's an uneventful holiday. Unless you
It
have
was just-
kids, and it's none of us have
It was
kids.
just another Sunday with Game of Thrones.
That's true.
Don't spoil anything, but how have you been enjoying it?
So it's alright.
I'm interested in seeing how they're gonna cram whatever they're gonna cram into the next
That's-
4 episodes.
Yeah, that's mostly what I'm worried about.
There's only 4 left.
There's 4 left, and
It's
I'm
been-
a little
it's
worried
been
about the
pretty-
pacing.
Slow moving.
But it's also not a
good.
show that's always an hour, right? Sometimes it's an hour and a half, correct?
They've been
Yeah.
less than an hour the first 2
The,
episodes.
the first
Ooh.
2 were kind of shorter. They were less than an hour. The
I have a
last 4 are
feeling.
supposed to be long.
I have the way I have a feeling is like there's gonna be 2 episodes with battles and
Yeah.
then 2 episodes of pretty much
After.
aftermath of battles / like the epilogue.
Yeah, that's
So I can see 3 of the next 4 episodes being longer.
no, they all are because I mean before the season even came out, they announced all the runtimes, and
I
it like,
didn't see him.
each one's getting progressively longer. Like the first one was like 48, the second was like 54. Then I think the third's gonna be almost an hour 20 or something like that. Like they're
That
gonna
would
start
make
getting
sense.
longer and longer. But the first 2 were, I mean, I'm enjoying them. I still like the story. I still like the style, but it's one of those like, I don't want this to end, and I think you need more than 4 episodes.
In one of these battles, I'm guessing like not just like some major character deaths. I'm imagining
All of
I'm
a
them.
imagining
ton
end of Harry
of
Potter.
character deaths. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's this is end of Harry Potter.
Which is going to cut down on epilogues.
It's
Unless
either that
characters
or
focus on-
it's just the plot twist. Everyone dies.
You know what though? I think
I mean-
Game of Thrones makes them so much money. I don't think this is the end of this.
It's not.
Well,
They've
they're not.
already
They
announced
already-
it.
Yeah, they already
It's-
announced prequels and things set
That's-
in the first Age of Man, and
That's the thing, though. They've announced multiple pilot possibilities, or one pilot got approved.
what's
But
the
they're all prequels. They're all really, really prequels.
I'm
there's
cool
the
with
whole side stories and like the books and stuff of Duncan the Tall and his squire Egg, which are they're like light stories more based in adventure, and I feel like HBO is gonna adapt that as like a lighter series, as more like an action adventure series than the drama of Game of Thrones.
Have you guys been watching Barry at all?
Okay. Also, not yet, but I want to.
Oh my god!
But I just haven't had time. Okay, here you go. First episode 54 minutes, second 58, third 82, 478, 79, 79.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, especially with the way that they played this last episode leading into this next episode. I can see that.
Yeah, I remember watching one episode and being like, damn, it feels like it's been going on longer than normal. And I looked at the time, it was like an hour and a half long.
Yeah,
Like,
no, some of them, they'll run them longer.
Like the battle of any real major battles, like the Battle of the Bastards episode, I think was like well longer than an hour.
Yeah, I need to hurry up and catch up so I can get the finale when everyone else watches the finale. Because I'm
you don't
like
want
2
that
seasons
spoiled.
behind.
Like right now, you want to catch up before next week because these first 2 episodes, there isn't anything there isn't spoilers really to be had.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly like, there's a couple, but they're very minor. It's mostly like, okay, we're getting back into the season, we're getting back into the things. Here's people meeting each other, and like,
Yeah, it's a lot of interactions with people who haven't seen each other in a long time.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of the characters knowing what we already know.
Yeah.
Where they're being told that,
and they're in all fairness, they've done a great job with that. If I didn't know there's only 4 episodes left, I would be loving the shit out of this because they're doing a great job with it. It's just that
that
impending how the fuck are you gonna do this in 4 episodes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gotta start catching up. It's just every time I think about how far behind I am, I'm just like, fuck it, I'm too far.
Power watch it, no life it.
I'm gonna have to, because I do like it. I am a fan of it. I'm not a diehard Game of Thrones fan, but
you can knock out 2 seasons in a day.
There was
and I'm only halfway through this, so I'm really 1.5 behind.
There was one scene.
There
was one scene in last night's episode that did make me uncomfortable.
I
think Jerry knows what I'm talking about.
But we'll move past that.
There's a lot of things in the fucking show where that's uncomfortable.
If I'm gonna make any comparisons, it's like an anime where the character looks 12, but they're like, oh, but she's really 600. And it's like, but she looks 12, and that's what makes this wrong.
It's Game of Thrones, dude. It's always kind of fucked up, that show, which is what's cool about it. That's what you pay for HBO for, No holds barred. You guys have to watch Barry. Definitely watch Barry.
No, that's on my list. I just got to make it through another.
It's surprisingly good.
I mean, I really like
Hader.
I love Bill Hader. He was one of the best parts. Him on SNL was fantastic. He was one of the best. When they do the roasts, if he ever does any of those Comedy Central roasts, he's always good for a really funny bit. And then you got Henry Winkler. Yeah,
them together, it's great. But Bill Hader is so good in the show. It might be his best work, because he plays he's a hitman who doesn't want to be a hitman anymore. And there's that dichotomy, and you can't if you think of Bill Hader, you can't see him as a real badass out of the army serial killer, but he plays that role so fucking well in the show that it makes it so interesting. And it's not a a completely dark show. It's fucking hilarious. But there also is there's some depth to it, and I'm super happy about it. And also that show Billions with Paul Giamatti and that guy from what's it called? Homeland. I forget his name. But
the guy from Chef, John Favreau.
No, he's not in it. John Favreau. No, he's from Homeland, and that's a great show as well. Those have been my two shows that I make sure that I watch. But other than that, yeah, been playing Sekiro, which has been a blast. Super having a good old time with it. It's still extremely difficult, But that's what's fun about it. And I think I'm going to get Mortal Kombat as well because I really, really, really enjoyed Injustice. And I hear this new Mortal Kombat, there's so much to it. There's a lot to it. And I want to make sure that if I get it as everyone else gets it. So
What
I'm
you
not
gonna
too
get it
far
on?
behind. I might get it on Switch, dude. I might
The
get
only
it on the
reason why I know-
Switch.
I've seen the
Doubt it's got
graphical
any-
comparison, and I think you'd be better off going PS4 or Steam.
I saw
but it's
videos.
not
It
even-
was
no,
a
it's
solid
not
60
even that.
frames.
It's not even the graphical comparison.
No, get me wrong,
That
it
does
plays-
matter.
it
no,
plays
no,
fine.
no. It's not the graphics. It's not that it plays fine. It's do you really want another game doing online combat?
That's actually, I didn't even think of that.
You could use the mobiles. You can use the Switch app to use voice chat.
I actually didn't think of that, and that's a good thing you said that because
I
I
did
wouldn't
look
have
at-
thought of that until I got it.
That's
did
my,
look at
that's my
in-
only qualm against it. Is like, okay, if they can't even figure out Smash,
Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed that it's running. It's like
It's a solid 60.
yeah. Like I'm totally glad that it's running that way. But you can tell they definitely had to tone down the graphics to get there.
Yeah, but it's not bad looking. Like I'm putting footage up from
I compare it to like a PS4, even a PS4 Pro. Like looking at the footage, like
yeah, it's not bad.
it's really dull.
No, it's not that bad.
Baraka's his
It's
blades
pretty
sticking out of him are pretty dull.
It's just there's not a lot of like texture RAM,
no.
So there's
looks
it's
a lot
pretty
like a phone
mushy.
app.
but I think it looks pretty damn good, dude.
And like you said, if that doesn't matter to you, if like you really just want the consistency and the frame rate, like you don't care about the graphical like comparability, sure, play it on Switch. I mean, that's it. It's awesome that Mortal
Yeah,
Kombat's
but the
back on
online, like
Yeah,
you're
no,
saying, the
yeah.
online is just it's not gonna be worth it.
It's one of those things. Is if it's a family game, you want to play this with your brother. Yeah, sure, get a Switch. But yeah, if you're thinking like, nah, dude, yeah, I
If you
don't
really want to
know.
play it on a Joy-Con
Wanna
D-pad, you would really want to use a Joy-Con D-pad.
That too. But it's not for me. It's not even that. There's workarounds for all of that on the Switch, other than their online service.
I just like the Switch. I play most
I do too.
most of the console gaming I do is on the Switch.
If I could have every game on it, I would. But
Right.
I can't do that.
But this is an online game. Like I would be playing mostly online. And you just not I'm going to have to see what online is like on the Switch. It's probably not any good, so I tell you what though, after I got the fucking LAN adapter, it's been a lot better. At least with Smash. You have to get it. You can't play online without it. It's just too
Like,
inconsistent.
you can tell when you're playing somebody that doesn't have it,
Yeah.
because I mean it's just like any other peer-to-peer network. It's
No, yeah,
the
it's that.
weakest connection determines the connection.
But then that like half kills the Switch for me.
Well, some games you don't like with Smash. You want to make sure you have a solid connection. Some games, it
Actually, I
doesn't
want a
really
solid
matter.
connection and I want a big screen.
Like I played a lot of Splatoon Wi-Fi, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't that bad. The worst part of the online with Splatoon is just how they set it up.
Yeah.
It's just not set up well. But like
And
the connectivity was great. I haven't had any issues with that.
Oh, it
with
doesn't
Splatoon.
lag or anything.
It was just Smash is just it's not optimized. Like you need a super steady connection for some reason. I guess because the input lag. You don't really notice the input lag on Splatoon because it's a different type of game.
I think in the recent update for Smash, I saw on there that they not only did they recommend that you use the LAN adapter, but they were even like, if your internet is too weak and you continue to try to play online, like they'll ban you.
Oh yeah, You get a
So they're
notice when you,
definitely
in the news patch.
They're definitely trying to at least emphasize the
I think
LAN.
that's fucked up, to be honest. I think it's fucked up. They should. That's just something that they're gonna have to figure out. You know what I mean? That's not up to the consumer. You play the
Yeah.
game you want to play online. You want to.
In like I said before, if they had included an Ethernet port on the goddamn dock,
Right.
then you wouldn't be bitching and moaning about having to
Right.
buy an adapter for it.
That's
Because then
yeah.
like, all right, buy an Ethernet cable. Do you know how cheap Ethernet cables are?
No, that not even that. Like that's a different story. If they would have shipped Smash with a Wi-Fi adapter, and then they could say, if you don't use the Wi-Fi adapter and we find your connectivity's bad, we can ban you.
I know how cheap Ethernet cables are.
Exactly. They're super friggin' cheap.
I have.
Yeah,
like,
but they
I
shouldn't tell you that you're going to be banned if you don't buy it. You know what I mean?
That is fucked up. I actually
Yeah, and I don't know what the actual limits are. Like if they're talking like
It just says if you drop out a lot, then that you can get a like a.
That's the worst. Is like, and that's like the thing that kind of sucks. Is like I wish there was an indicator that they told you that your opponent dropped out. The only way I know that my opponent dropped out because of
it
their
pauses for like 12 seconds.
It pauses for 12 seconds, and then as soon as it comes back, especially if you had like played for even a minute, and you notice that your opponent is now not doing the things they were doing before, and it's like, oh, well, that's because it's a freaking computer now.
Yeah, and you could just kill yourself immediately because you won't lose any GSP or anything.
Then you don't gain any if you win either. I just wish it would like give you a symbol or something saying, hey, you were playing against just an AI right now.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of criticisms with Smashes Online.
The game's fun, and Joker is a blast.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome. He's just a little bit hard to kill with.
He's a very technical character because he's actually, I didn't realize how light he was. And he's the lightest character I've ever played with. And I'm used to playing with heavier characters where they can go in and trade. You know, you get hit and you hit them, and a lot of times you win because you're heavier. Not with Joker. If you get hit and you hit them, you're on the losing end of that exchange.
Yeah. And I mean, you're getting up to like 150 to 180 before you even think about killing someone. I mean, I've gotten up to 200 and I'm still his forward air just doesn't kill. You have to get a back air or smash.
His forward air kills. It only kills if you have his RSN out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once you get RSN, you have all.
But even then, it doesn't kill until like 150. It takes a while. He's a light character, man.
You need to get better at your edge guards.
He doesn't really.
Do you go off stage with your forward air?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've killed way less than 150. If it's a heavier character, maybe not. Like if you're playing against a Bowser, it might take a while.
Yeah, I mean, I've multiple games where I'm getting up to 200 and I'm trying to get a kill. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like the way that his attacks work, they float. You know what I mean? They don't kind of just like stagger off. They just they float up and then they just kind of wiver back in. So it's kind of that's the only problem I've been having with Joker. But you can rack up like a good like 30-40% real quick with him because his combos are just so fun,
especially with the drag down up air.
Yeah, the up air is so
sick. You can get the timing on it where you drag him down right into another combo, you can like rinse and repeat that drag down grab, up throw, up air, drag down grab, pummel, rinse and repeat for a good like low percent, like 50-60 damage.
And his gun is actually fun too. And once you learn to jump,
he gimps too. Like if you are playing against like a cloud and they're trying to recover, you can just jump above them, shoot the gun down at them. It interrupts their frames. Yeah, you can gimp you can really gimp pretty easily with him.
Yeah, I've had a blast playing with him, but I just find that still a little bit inefficient. I mean, you play someone that knows how to play and they're a heavier character. You know, it's hard to play against them when they can kill you at like 80%. You know what I mean? And you have to get double that to kill them.
See, I hide no qualms. Like I know I'm better at Smash than you.
I'll play you, man. We need to play.
I love playing Smash. Like it's probably my outside of like RPGs. If I had to pick like my favorite game series of all time, it's Smash Brothers.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. I haven't played in years, dude.
I played 64, I played Melee, I played Brawl, I played Project M, I played Smash 4. I played them all. I had the 3DS version.
How was that? Is it any good?
It was alright. I mean, once it came out before the Wii U version did. So once the Wii U version came out, that thing was dead.
I didn't realize the 3DS was the second best-selling console.
Oh yeah, it didn't start out that way. The 3DS was a bit slow at first. But once it got Pokemon, and I mean, don't ever underestimate the power of Pokemon. Yeah. Don't ever underestimate the power of Pokemon.
Yeah, because I saw like a
the
graph.
3DS has a ton of
Just
games.
wait until next November, whenever like this upcoming fall season when Pokemon comes out on the Switch. The Switch is gonna sell like crazy
Yeah.
again.
Like even now, like the 3DS is one of the best selling consoles, and it's like they got Pokemon and Monster Hunter and JRPGs.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I
And
have a
it's like-
I have a
like
3DS, and I don't really
Fire
play
it had
it.
Fire Emblem.
And Fire Emblem. Yeah. Like it had that and then JRPGs.
And there was a bunch of other titles, like Metroid. The Metroid 2 remake was really good on 3DS. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, but like compared to Pokemon and all the others,
Oh yeah, no, I mean those are niche titles.
How much better is the Switch? It's so
Than the
dope
3DS.
than everything. It's the best console.
I mean, it's got its pros and cons, but like it's hard to compare to other consoles for me because it's such a unique thing.
It's just so good, dude.
I like it a lot, but everything still sucks compared to PC.
I don't know, man. I used to think that, but the Switch is just so fun.
I would say that, except all the indie games that come out on PC, I can now take on the go with me,
Right?
For $40.
Who
like
cares?
Katana Zero,
I'll
which
pay
is
the
actually
premium.
cheaper on the Switch than it is on PC.
Then I would buy Katana Zero for that. But I'm just saying, like,
Which, by the way,
Super Meat
that's-
Boy is still $40. What fucking world is this?
I'm just saying that's the other game I've been playing is Katana Zero.
Yeah, someone else was playing that. Maybe it was Shindo.
Shindo actually beat it last night. I was watching him play it. And I was just like,
What is
laughing
it?
how much he died. So it's like a 2D side-scrolling action game, similar in the vein to like Hotline Miami. But
Oh, is
not-
it Devolver game?
Yeah, and it's the Devolver game.
It's Devolver Digital, but it's developed by ASCII software. The soundtrack is really good, and the comparisons to Hotline Miami are pretty much one hit kill, kind of difficult. I have some gripes with the game in terms of its difficulty, but I think it's not difficult enough. The music is very Hotline Miami style, and like the complete like aesthetics of that like 80s synthwave kind of like
Okay.
vaporwave.
After a day, it still has a Steam rating of 97%.
It's a very fun game. I just wish it were longer.
That doesn't happen.
It was really
Yeah, Shindo
was
said it was like
really
4
fun.
hours long.
Yeah, it's not very long, and you can tell that they're gonna add stuff in the future to it. There's some secrets here and there. It's got a lot of really cool Easter eggs. And you can tell the way they ended the story, it was left with it to be continued. So they're gonna make a second game.
Oh, someone also downvoted it because they literally beat it in less than 2 hours.
I mean,
So if you're good at it, then you
the
can beat it in
speedrun
2
is-
hours.
The speedrun is sub 56 minutes.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
I'm
a little
actually-
short.
On day
Not
one.
only am I planning on learning the speedrun, the dev has actually come out and said that he's going to be adding a speedrun mode as well. So
Yeah, that's cool.
that should save time, because like a lot of the downtime in it is there's like these dialogue options with the story and stuff that aren't the levels, and they kind of waste time just because they're slow. So I'm hoping that speedrun mode is just like, hey, skip that, just go level to level to level, and that would make it more entertaining because then you're just constantly playing.
Okay. It's not my style of game, but I can respect
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it's a very fun action game. My only concern not only was it not long enough, it wasn't really till like the very end where it like started to feel somewhat difficult. Where it's like, okay, now this is like where I'm getting into like these rooms have tons of enemies in them, and like the patterns are different and interesting, but that's like literally like the last like kind of like the last area of the game, and then like the final boss was pretty interesting. But once you beat that, I was like, that's the final boss. I feels like the intro to now here's the hard game.
Is Hotline
So-
Miami on the Switch?
No, I don't know how well it would actually. I don't know. I played that game a lot. Like I played it on PC and I played it like keyboard and mouse. I don't know how I would feel about playing it with controller.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I
think it's
probably could
doable. It's doable, but like
doable, but it
people-
like just having like it's different because that game is a top-down game, whereas like a side-scrolling game, That's controller all day for me. Like I'll play that in controller.
Yeah, but like
But
the
I
top
just
down,
need that
top down,
mouse.
you almost want to just like play one-handed and use your other hand to just use the touch screen. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that top down for me is like WASD and a mouse, like for full 360 movement, especially when you're trying to throw things in directions
and go fast.
I mean, this game was pretty
and go
cool.
fast, which I like.
That's the other thing with Hotline. Hotline, you have to go fast.
Yeah, and you got to think quick. I love like Hotline.
I could
was
see
like,
it being a good like twin shooter style game.
for 15, even on Steam for $15. Like, if you ask me, just because I'm like, I'm going to be replaying the game repeatedly, just because I want to get good at it and be fast at it. $15 was totally worth the price.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. And I love Devolver. I mean, I love Hotline. Really, I fucking am a huge fan of that series.
Yeah, these guys definitely had they definitely took a lot of inspiration from the Hotline series. And there's like a
2 hours is pretty
Regs.
short though.
That's if you like mash through stuff. There's a bunch of secret stuff that I guarantee you they did not find.
Yeah, but even then, you'd hope it was at least 8 to 10.
And yeah, see that's the thing. Like with these kinds of games, is
That's
I don't
really
think you're gonna
short.
get 8 to 10 out of them.
I
And
mean,
the only
that's
reason
like-
I think Hotline Miami like 1 and 2 were like anywhere near 8 to 10 hours is because of how hard they were.
Yeah, right.
So you're constantly dying. I feel like if this game was a bit harder, then you would see that time increase from 2 hours to maybe like 4 hours for this whoever this person is.
Well, hopefully they add more to it.
Yeah, and I definitely think as like a jumping point for a series, this is a great start, and I would love to see them expand upon it in the future.
Yeah, this is definitely an indie that I want to pick up. I still need to play Celeste. I haven't played that yet.
Oh,
I
that's
haven't
one
played
of the
Undertale.
fantastic.
This is the game plan. They're gonna release it Katana Episode 0. They're
I'm
just gonna
down.
rebrand it.
Hey,
I
man.
mean, if you play the story is all about weird, timey-wimey shit. So, like, whew.
No, I just
It makes
that's kind
no
of what I
sense.
expect them to do is basically say like, "Yep, that was Episode 0. Here's Episode 1. And it's 8 hours this time for real."
Mm.
Yeah, with like bigger levels and more enemies with more patterns and more variety.
At least that's what I would do if my little 2-hour game actually was really good and took off and made me money.
Yeah. And the gameplay, like I said, like the gameplay, like the story, don't go into this game thinking like, oh, I'm gonna get a full complete story, because the story,
It's a
like
platform.
it's like Hotline Miami. Like
Yeah.
the story is what?
Yeah, but
I
the
don't-
Hotline Miami story is awesome. For what you get,
You understood any of it,
well, it's just fucked up.
especially with Hotline Miami 2.
It's just so fucked up. I enjoyed it. You know what I mean? I enjoyed the stupid little scenarios that they put you in. Is there
Right,
any
it's
sort of
good, but
story
it's-
here?
It's not like what you'd think of like an actual story or plot. Like it's
No,
just
no,
like,
no,
Here's a 5-minute short
Yeah.
story I wrote, and we
And
need
they
no.
They
yeah.
definitely set up a bunch of characters, and there's at least like 3 major characters I can think of where you only see them like once or twice in the game, and you don't learn anything about them. So like I'm intrigued to learn more about them in future games and actually fighting against them in future games. Like there's another swordsman. But yeah, no, like I said, I'm a huge fan of indie games, especially action games like this, and the aesthetics and the music. Oh god, the music is actually really good.
Yeah, that was one thing I really liked about Miami as well. Was the soundtrack was just it gets you going.
Where Hotline did a lot of I don't know if they did licensing, but they definitely worked with like already known artists in
Yeah.
a lot of their tracks. There's only, I believe, 4 people that worked on this soundtrack, and really only 2 of them contributed like the majority, which is Ludovic from Netherlands, and then I think Bill Riley. I never heard of these people before, but they did a really solid job with it.
Yeah.
You can find it on Bandcamp. I think it's like €9 for the album.
All right. No, this would be something I'd pick up on the Switch.
For $15, hell, even if you wait for it to be on sale in some kind of indie sale for like 10, totally worth it.
Because that totally happens on the Switch.
Around E3, they'll probably throw an indie sale up.
I'm Humble Bundle more likely.
Oh yeah, there'll definitely be. This will be in a Humble Bundle at some point.
Well, no, they started doing Switch ones too. That's what I mean. That's what I expect.
Oh, I haven't followed Humble Bundle in a while.
Yeah,
Or do they
started-
just
got
give you a
tired of-
code?
like it's still rare, but they do sometimes have like some Switch Humble Bundles.
I got tired of buying Humble Bundles and then having 15 games added to my already library of games I'm never gonna play.
Yeah.
So I stopped doing Humble Bundles.
I use their sale more than anything. Actually, honestly, the thing I buy the most from Humble Bundle nowadays is books.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I heard they're really good for.
Like they usually have really good book sales sometimes.
What book
Like
did I
you
just
could
buy?
get all of you could get like all of almost the major plot lines of Warhammer 40K for like $5.
I'm wondering when they do a D&D like Humble Bundle book thing.
They do that sometimes.
I'll have to follow that because right now I've been using
Yeah, no,
like
they do that sometimes, and they'll have like 15 of the books. Or so.
I've been using DM's Guild, which has a lot of pay what you want for like homebrew stuff, which is pretty cool. But I would definitely support like official release stuff if it's Humble Bundled.
Yeah, they also do a ton of really shitty dev books, but sometimes they're interesting.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they have
Pathfinder.
real books.
Oh yeah, Days Gone comes out this Friday. Hell's Radar says he gets it on Thursday. Interesting. I forgot that game's coming out already.
It's another zombie game, right?
Yep.
It is
I see. I'm not trying. I know Grimes is gonna give me like, oh, you're just hating because PS4. I'm done with zombie games. I'm done with zombies in general.
I
Why?
didn't want to play World Wars.
The only thing I want is Last of Us 2. That's all I want.
What's wrong with zombie games?
How many
It's
years?
just not as good as Last of Us is,
That's
Fair.
true.
and it's a flooded market.
And
They're
it is
so
also a
fun,
flooded
though.
market. I think I would pick up Days Gone eventually. I'm not gonna get it at release, but I think I'm more interested in this than most zombie games. But for example, the World War Z thing, where it's just like, cool, you made Left 4 Dead, but worse. Thanks. I needed this.
Well, this isn't really Left 4 Dead because this is more of like a single player game.
No, yeah, this is not. This is more like, okay, this is at least there could.
Oh,
be
you're
time-
saying like World War Z?
right? World War Z was just Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. But it did look pretty interesting.
It looks like a good Left 4 Dead, but it's just like, do I really need another Left 4 Dead?
I do. I want a new Left 4 Dead because it is dated, and I just can't go
mean,
back playing Left 4 Dead 2. But I had
There was,
so
like-
much fun playing that game with my brothers and stuff. Like that's a really. I
You
want a
look at
new one.
Zombies in gaming, like Call of Duty Zombies, Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. Then you had The Last of Us, which is still a fantastic game. What was the other one? DayZ, but that was like a weird.
Daisy was something different.
It was something different. Yeah,
It was a zombie game
it was a zombie
Yeah, it
game,
was a PvP.
but yeah, exactly.
with some zombies that never worked on the side.
Then you had what was some of the other zombie games that came out, and they all came out around the same time. Like The Walking Dead was big,
And then there was the one on Xbox. Remember that one?
Dead Rising.
Yeah, Dead
Then you had the
Rising.
really crappy like.
No, then there was another one on Xbox.
there was the one like the island, and it was just really bad.
Yeah, that was Dead Rising. That was a part of
No,
Dead Rising.
Dead Rising was the one in the mall.
The one in the mall was good.
And then they had an
Dead
island one.
Dead
and the
Island,
island was like dead something.
Dead
Dead
Island,
Island
maybe?
Rising. I think it was Dead Island. I don't fucking know. There's too many.
But then there was another one. It was a third person zombie game on the Xbox. It was like it came
Yeah,
out
was
like
called
with the
Odd
Xbox.
Zombies.
No, then you had State of
No.
Decay. State of Decay 2
Then State of Decay.
did not do well at all.
No,
7 Days to Die is good. That's a zombie game I can play.
7 Days to Die. I don't think I played that one.
I can play that sometimes. It's Minecraft with zombies, but better. But
It was Dead Island Riptide. That's what you're thinking of.
yeah, it was Dead
That's-
Island.
Yeah, Dead Island. When those were bad games.
Then there was Plants vs Zombies.
Daisy was great. I love Daisy.
Oh
but
yeah,
it's not
Dead
zombie.
Rising was the third person. Dead Island was the
7
first
Days
person.
to Die.
I thought Dead Island was
7
pretty
Days to
good.
Die is actually it's all right. If you got,
had-
if you got friends, it's
On the Wii U, you had Zombie U.
sure.
I'm just saying. I don't know.
There's a lot.
I'm burnt out on zombie games.
I know.
I'm not.
It's just a flooded market.
I
don't
love
like
them. I think zombies are an awesome enemy.
There are more zombie games and battle royales at this point still.
Like, you know, all those stupid enemies that you fight in Kingdom Hearts, if they were all zombies, I would like that game a lot more.
So if it was Kingdom Hearts 2, and I guess maybe Kingdom Hearts 1, I think had it, you were just in the Hollow Town.
No, not zombie.
Nightmare Before
Not
Christmas.
Kingdom Hearts. The what was I thinking?
Just stop.
Fear.
Fear?
Oh, fear. If you want fear, like
Fear was great. It didn't need zombies. It had
I
weird.
would totally.
It had little shadow freaking crabs.
It wasn't zombies,
Every
but it was
enemy.
more- yeah, it was more Resident Evil spoopy monsters.
Fear when it first came out was
Dude, I would be down.
so well
for a
done.
new-
I
yeah,
really
I
enjoyed
would
Fear.
totally be down for a fear reboot.
Fear 2 got weird when like there's the whole rape scene at the end.
Stardew
Yeah.
Valley is great, and it's because it doesn't
What a,
have
tr-
zombies.
what a segue.
It sort of does.
What a
Sorry,
segue.
it's all that
Dude, I would
chat.
play I would love Stardew Valley even more if it had zombies.
I mean, Terraria has zombies.
It kind
Is
of.
Minecraft,
it
are
kind
those
of
things
does.
really zombies?
Yeah, they're zombies. I forget what they call them. Creepers?
Creepers? But I guess they're just zombies,
No,
right?
they're skeletons. They're skeleton boys.
Skelly boys?
With Resident Evil, zombies.
I
Except
like
Mario 2
zombies,
was
dude.
fantastic,
Sorry.
so it's
Sorry,
fine.
sue me. I'm a zombie fan.
It's all about pirates, man.
Days
Come
Gone
on,
looks
ninjas.
awesome. I think I'm gonna get it on launch. I forgot it was even a thing, to be honest.
Sony, give me
I'm gonna
Ghost of
get
Tsushima.
Days
Let me get my ninja on.
This is our last like big release on Sony, it seems like, right? Before the new next gen.
That I can
For us?
think of. I mean,
Uh,
until we get news of like Ghost of Tsushima and
I mean, those just seem like they're gonna be next gen.
well,
Right.
they also said that any games they're working on for PS4 will be played on PS5. So
gonna
we
be
say they
the
look
same
next
for
gen,
all of them.
but they'll release
Yeah.
on both.
I'd still call them a next gen game though.
I wouldn't because they PlayStation 4 and Xbox One onwards. It's a computer. It's all the same. It's not next gen. It's cool. Here's a new computer running the new game.
I mean, you could literally say about any console though.
True, but like it's even more so now that they like it's all literally
It's just a
stand-
class of
it's literally
classification.
standardized computer parts at this point. It's not you got your cool Sony Amiga or your cool Amiga sound chip from Yamaha in it,
You know what I mean, bitch.
Yeah, but like it's all the same to me at this point. It's like it's the same as a computer. It's like it's gonna run Horizon Zero Dawn whether I put it on a NVIDIA 1050 or an NVIDIA 2060.
Yeah.
It's still gonna run. It'll look better on one than the other, but it's still gonna be here's the same fucking system with the same fucking games.
But this, I think Days Gone is the last one before we get into the new consoles. And then we gotta wait. And then the clock's ticking. I mean, I can't think of any other bigger games coming out in 2019.
What do I have pre-ordered?
What do you got?
Good question.
Well, the rumor is Last of Us 2 is on September 27th, 2019.
Really?
Yep,
That's when it's released?
that's the rumor.
Oh.
Well, I got Judgment coming for the PS4, but that's a niche game. Code Vein, but that's also anime Dark Souls. Like hardcore anime Dark Souls. And then everything else is Nintendo. So yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
As far as Nintendo
It's time for the
goes,
Switch to shine. That's why they need to come out with a new Switch, man.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Fire
What
Emblem,
about the-
Astral Chain, Luigi's Mansion 3, Super Mario Maker 2, Pokemon, Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, and Daemon X Machina all coming out this year.
I'm not really excited about many of those. Maybe Mario Maker.
No, Mario Maker 2, like Mario Maker 1 was like you didn't have a Wii U, but it was one of the only games on the Wii U besides Smash that was like actually worth that system. It was that was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. At the same time, I don't really care about your hype release schedules.
Got to get Mario Maker 2 like YouTube going.
Well, what else is
so
coming
that
out on
we can-
PC? Is anything coming out on PC that we're missing?
Probably PC is usually a lot closer. They usually get announced a lot closer to release date.
Yeah, and then
Like,
any other
I
indie
got
game.
a Warhammer, Total War Warhammer 2 DLC this weekend that was announced like 2 weeks ago. That's usually how PC does it a lot more of than like the AAA style of like get
Yeah,
hyped
that's
for
what
this game in 3 years.
That's I'm trying to think of like AAA games.
I hate when they do that, and I'm looking at Final Fantasy VII remake, dead in the eyes. When it's like, hey, here's a trailer. It's been 4 years now.
The biggest thing for PC gaming, honestly, that's been announced that I can think of is World of Warcraft Classic in the summer.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I have no interest. And I wouldn't call that a AAA title, would you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I definitely don't play it. There's
A
gonna be a
game that
ton
had a
of
subscriber base of 10 million fucking people. Yeah, I consider
There's
that.
gonna be a very
$8
large
$10.
nostalgia.
Yeah, I would consider that AAA.
It's gonna get downloaded a lot over the summer because it's gonna
Not
be
a lot of people are going to keep playing it, but it's going to sell.
Yeah, I'd
Is
be
it-
interested in seeing.
Isn't it? I thought it was free. I can't
It's
remember.
free with your subscription, but I just mean like
Okay.
the subscriptions, the subs.
What is it, like $15?
Yeah.
The old days of the subscription based MMO.
Final Fantasy 14 is still going strong.
I'm sure they all are. There's always a fucking
Summer. Well,
player
no,
base.
Final Fantasy didn't have a sub, and the argument for the sub is if the company doesn't get bought out by Activision, the sub's worth it.
I mean, 14 has a sub.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
Oh, it does. Oh, it does. You can play for free up until I think like level 15, but after that you have to subscribe.
Honestly, I think Elder Scrolls Online is the only MMO. Sort of Guild Wars 2, I guess, if you really want to count that.
RuneScape, baby.
But you only play that with a sub. The only people who play that is fucking 07scape. That's a sub.
You gotta
No,
get
but
that. You gotta get that. You gotta
Elder
get
Scrolls
that.
Online is the only-
OSRS, baby. Old school RuneScape.
Well, that's the only one I can think of that doesn't have a sub that's actually not total shit.
No,
And,
I'm
like,
pretty
even
sure they all
Final
have them.
Fantasy
See,
14
I just don't. I get the idea of the subscription, but what drives me crazy is, hi, buy our $60 game, and then you also have to pay $15 a month to play said $60 game.
It's how they've always been.
I don't got that time of money and time.
It depends on the quality of the content you get. So that's why, like, right now Blizzard's in the shit is because this expansion's been shit. It's not worth money. No one's paying it. But the original general idea of that, it was worth it, because it was like, okay, sure, you're paying $60 for that game, but that $15 is getting you essentially 4 DLC sized expansions, like over the course of a year and a half. Like, in that aspect, it was like you were always getting more shit. That's what that sub was going.
Well, I remember EverQuest, you had to pay for the game, then you had to pay for the sub, and then you had to pay for the
server.
DLC. And then I played Dark Age of Camelot, and the same thing with that game.
Yep.
Guild Wars was when you paid for the game and there wasn't a sub, right?
And Guild Wars was
And I had a lot of fun with
Fine.
Guild Wars,
it was
but
fine.
it wasn't the best. I
Let's just-
played it for like 6 months, but
Let's all just play Phantasy Star Online too.
I'm honestly probably just gonna play World of Warcraft Classic.
I kind of want to get into it. But I already know if I do, there's just it's just a
You-
game that I play too
it's not
slow.
for
like people just go
It's
right
not
through
for
it.
I tried
not
Warcraft
classic.
once. I tried WoW once. I made it like an hour in. I was like, this thing sucks. I don't like this at all.
I love it, but it's the different. It's also when you played it, because classics, and the reason why people are hyped for classic, it's a totally different fucking game. Like, Wayne, I'm not gonna tell you to go play classic. You're gonna fucking hate it, because you're like class. Okay, right now leveling, and this is even after they fucked it up again, so it's slow again. Like, oh yeah, you can make it to max level like in a week without trying. Classic is like it took me like 8 months to level my first character to max level the first time I did it.
No interest in that.
Classic's like, hey dude, you want to get to level 10 tonight? Maybe, because that's actually going to take you probably 8 hours.
Yeah. No interest in that whatsoever. And that's the thing. Like, I used to play so much EverQuest and Dark Age of Camelot, and for some reason I didn't have a problem playing those games. But I can't imagine playing them now.
Yeah, like for some of them I can, and some of them I can't. Like the way WoW's current state is, like it's all loot boxes basically. It's not, but that's what it feels like. Is everything is a loot box. The thing though, like Classic, you could sort of target stuff, and it was still kind of loot boxy like an RPG. But since it was so slow, there was a huge community. You had people to talk to. You had to talk to people to finish stuff. You had to group together, and like that was the fun of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's the fun of all MMOs, in my opinion.
Right, and current WoW doesn't really have that. And then also,
yeah, that's kind of whack.
It's a little bit different too, where it's like, no, I love that game, and I'm gonna definitely try it out again. But I also loved that game when I was in middle school and high school.
Yeah,
I don't got that time.
Right.
Like,
I'm still watching gameplay footage of Days Gone. It actually looks really cool. This game looks pretty interesting. Maybe I'll get it.
It looks cool.
All right, well, let's get into some news. It's not too much. What is this, Doobie? Square Enix. I can't get into it right now. I'm trying to.
I got you. So Square Enix announces that it will be at E3, promising a quote-unquote exciting lineup. So Sony's not going to be at E3.
So we're getting Final Fantasy Bass Fishing Part 2.
Let me get that ocean fishing. No, it seems to be the rumor because they're also going to be having a Final Fantasy VII concert right before E3.
So Final Fantasy VII Bass Fishing in VR.
Get that FF7 Bass Fishing. A lot of people are hoping that this might be an update at least for FF7 remake. And that could be a game if they ever come out with it. Could definitely hold people over until PS5, but I still don't see this game having a release date anywhere close to like near 2019, like maybe 2020.
Well, I mean, why is it taking so long?
They've restarted development like 3 times.
Just give up on it.
They should have never announced it.
Do you think this game will sell well?
It depends.
I think a lot of people just have a good memory of Final Fantasy VII, but I don't think they actually want to play it.
The nostalgia for Final Fantasy VII is real. It definitely is. Like when people like think they go, "Oh, I'm a Final Fantasy fan." Well, which ones have you played? Only 7. It's like okay, right. It totally makes sense.
That is the one thing I do worry about too, though, is the longer and longer they wait for it, or to like they can release it, the more and more it's just like, well,
don't care.
Who the fuck, like.
Who cares at this point?
There's not enough of us older farts who actually played Final Fantasy when it was good.
Yeah. And like I don't and like it might get to the point where like I don't know if it is like it'll be a
19-year-old cousin.
It'll be a PlayStation exclusive, but it'll be only a matter of time until it's on PC. Square's put a lot of stuff on PC. Octopath is coming to PC.
They'll probably come on mobile. They put everything on mobile as well.
I mean, it depends. And if they stay with this whole episodic idea where they're going to do different episodes.
And also,
has episodic content ever worked for a game?
Other than like
Walking Dead. I don't think it has.
I think
even Walking Dead it failed.
No, even The Walking Dead, it didn't end well for Telltale.
And look at Hitman. Hitman, people still play it, but it's one of those like, why the fuck did you release this episode?
Yeah. Exactly. That's why people bought it when they got all the episodes as one collecting, as one game.
Yeah,
Like Half-Life Episode 1 and 2, whereas we never got Half-Life Episode 3 or even Half-Life 3.
I don't
Those were-
understand
those
the
were-
idea of the
those were
episodic
more
content
like
either.
DLC expansions.
Exactly, they were DLC
wasn't-
expansions. Yeah,
It wasn't like, nope, here's an episodic game. Ugh.
the only ones I can think of were maybe like Xenosaga on the PS2, and I can tell you that they did not sell well.
I mean, imagine beating the
Same
first
time, it is
episode
also-
and then having to wait for the next episode.
Yeah.
I'd be like, fuck this
Especially
game, I'm
Square,
done.
though. It
And
is-
the worst,
they
the
do
worst-
release a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Well, the worst is here's your episodic content. Like, here's episode 1. Here's first disc up to Midgar. Okay, but I know the story of Final Fantasy 7, so I want to play Final Fantasy 7. But you're telling me I can only play up to Midgar, like up to like the first in like the essentially the first like the prologue,
Right.
Okay.
and then I have to wait how long for the next
I would
episode?
just say, fuck this game. I have no interest anymore.
I would
Yeah.
wait until they come with the complete edition with all the episodes in one package.
Yeah.
I'll put it this way: I still
Like-
have Final Fantasy VII, and if I want to play it, I'm gonna fucking play it.
Yeah.
You can play it on anything at this point. Final Fantasy 7's
Yeah.
been re-released on everything.
Okay, but this was also
and it's
my
not
other
fun.
point.
It's not
Is
fun
it-
anymore.
Okay.
It hasn't
What of these
aged
games
as
have
well
you-
as people
What of
think
these
it
games
has.
have you heard of? Goita,
Nope.
Octahedron,
Nope.
Deadbeat Heroes,
Sounds kind of familiar, but
Is
I
this
don't think I
the
know.
exciting lineup you're talking
The
about?
Turing Test,
I've heard of that one.
Forgotten and Collector's Edition,
Collector's Edition.
Where are you reading this?
No idea what that is.
Black the Fall,
Why is this guy
Tokyo Dark, Children of Zodiac.
Wait, where are you reading this?
Oh, this is the current Square Enix Humble Bundle sale. These are all Square Enix games.
Oh. No.
So that's my point. Is Square Enix makes some really great games, and they make some really
They made what was the one that what was like their big game they like teased
Or games that
it was like the Quiet Man or something like that, and then they turned out the game sucked.
Yeah.
And that was like their big premiere last year's E3 was the Quiet Man. Other than that, it was just all updates for games that were already out.
So like, yeah, it's one of those like these games are probably good, but like who cares? That Square has a lot of those.
If Square isn't on stage at a Sony press conference at E3, they don't have a very good track record at E3.
And this next one is the Final Fantasy VII concert before
Yeah.
E3.
Yeah, it's right before
Symphonic
E3,
reunion.
which is like it's not the first time they've had like
That's
Final Fantasy concerts, but the fact that it's only Final Fantasy VII, it's not like, oh, here's the music of Final Fantasy. It's here's a specifically Final Fantasy VII. So I mean, it does raise some eyebrows that it's right in LA, the day before they're having their E3 press conference. It does raise some eyebrows, but I'm not putting like all my stock into it.
Full game or bust.
Full game or bust, hell yeah, it's what I'm gonna say. Don't get me wrong, I would love to see like I've always wanted to go to distant
An
worlds.
actual good classic Square Enix game.
Have-
Like, if Square's actually developed and like you're gonna be like, cool, this is at least decent.
So
Yeah.
Octopath Traveler,
Yeah, something like that. Like, sure, I'll take that, but like
it's coming to PC.
a bunch of like things they're publishing, like I don't give a shit.
Yeah, when they dev stuff, like it can be pretty. Like the team behind Octopath is also the same team behind Bravely Default. And, like that team is probably like one of the only teams at Square Enix I still have any kind of faith in when it comes to RPGs.
Was it like 2 months ago? You guys were like talking about how awesome Square Enix was doing.
What did they release?
I was happy with Octopath, but that was like it.
Okay, or no, it was Capcom. Never mind.
Capcom's been doing a
Oh,
lot. better.
Capcom's been killing it.
Except I still don't think $200 for that stick, that arcade cabinet thing is. I think it's awful.
The Capcom logo.
Dude,
The
I'll
Capcom
only
stick
buy
was
it if it also has Square Enix's bass fishing with it.
I played Bass Fishing on the arcade.
Yeah, here's
monster.
the next piece of news is about Smash's update.
And we kind of talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did get a really cool thing. I don't know if you have checked out the stage builder yet.
I haven't. I've seen stuff on Reddit though.
No, but everyone's probably
Seen all the dicks.
basically, yeah. Welcome. You can make stages in Stash Brothers. They're all dicks or pictures of Squidward
Yeah. They're all
And
memes.
all the dicks get pulled down by Nintendo.
or Ricardo. It's all memes. Yeah, it's all memes and just fucking dicks.
Yep.
What do you expect?
What did you expect out of a stage builder?
It's so awesome though that they
Like,
that
there's
they
a
put it in
few
there.
people making creative stuff, but like, it's all about the dicks. But yeah,
And they didn't fix the online, so
Yeah, I
No,
didn't.
but you can make dicks now.
It never worked.
they allowed you to make dicks, but they didn't fix the fucking online.
They did. I mean, I do like the basic patch notes like that they gave, where you get penalized easier for continually dodging.
I
They
haven't
reduce-
noticed that either too much.
I've noticed it.
Was it just like more landing
do
lag
it.
or something?
No, it's when you roll. If you roll
Oh.
too much, it takes more time before you can like
Attack.
out of it.
All right.
Anything, shield, attack, grab. So
That's
the more
good. You used to be able to roll forever.
the more you abuse it, the more I can just punish you for doing it.
Yeah.
So this is exactly what you expected with Super Smash making a stage builder. Sorted by popular. Top one is Smash Skitball, which actually seems interesting. Climax, which is literally someone fucking each other.
Mhm.
Tetris. September, which is the Twin Towers. Minecraft. Sans Fight, which is Undertale. Loss, which is I don't even fucking know. Meta Crystal, which seems interesting. Mario Pissing, which is
It's just like a take on the Calvin and
Mario
Hobbes
Pissing. Yeah.
It should just be the Calvin and Hobbes like Calvin
The
pissing.
bumper sticker.
Curb, which is just Kirby holding a giant fucking knife. And Pokefloats, which is
memes.
a bunch of really shitty Pokemon in midair.
Yeah, memes.
Yeah, it's all memes. But some of them seem pretty cool. Some people have been doing some interesting stuff.
There's a whole working Pong setup, like where it just plays Pong.
That's
That's
cool.
cool.
Well, no,
Yeah.
that's what it's like the Smash Ball. Like it looks like kind of like a basketball King of the Hill things. Like that could be cool. But no, a lot of them are just fucking memes.
And
Yeah.
then the other patch, like the other big patch, like they hit all characters, was they pretty much nerfed all projectiles against Shield, which helps stop the game from being as campy as it can. Like it can get kind of campy when you play online and the guy just sits underneath a platform,
Yep.
fireballs as Mario, and that's all they do.
Yep.
Like, well, you just don't want to have any fun. So now, like, all of these projectiles don't hit you as for as much on your shield, so you can just run and shield, attack. And then other characters got, basic changes here and there. Like Mewtwo got a ton of changes, so now like it's a character who's not like he didn't get any higher on the tier listing, but he's a little more viable than he was before to play as.
Yeah. Pretty much all the tiers are the same, right?
For the most part, there was.
Where's Joker on the tier that the pros
It's
are ranking
still
him?
too early. It's still too early to really determine where he is. But I do believe that a lot of people view him as an upper tier character. Like in
Yeah.
that, like
I'd say he's like a B player.
That's still my favorite one though.
It's freaking Squidward.
Yeah, I saw that on Reddit.
I like how they use the lava for the mouth though.
What's next? South Korea news country investigating loot boxes. Let's hopefully they ban them.
I mean, it's more and more countries keep doing this. Like, it's just going to put more pressure on the companies, and especially South Korea. Like, South Korea is huge in like MOBAs and stuff like that, and those games have a lot of loot boxes in them to begin with.
I wonder what it
I don't
means
know much
they're
about,
launching
like-
an investigation.
Yeah, I don't know much about League of Legends and how that has loot boxes, but it definitely has microtransactions.
It has some, but they are. I mean, they're owned by Tencent, so all in China, they got all the numbers and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
It's just like I just don't think that they're legit. I think they're always skewed.
Yeah, but you can get away from it all by going and buying Team Sonic Racing.
No, I will not do that.
What about Rage 2?
No.
Blood and Truth?
Where are you reading all these games?
This is
Is
the
another
AAA
Humble Bundle?
titles. Nope, this is the AAA titles that are coming out next month.
No.
And you want to say how bad computers are?
Well, which ones are coming out for computers? I can't even name one.
No, but I got fucking games that I still have to play.
Sony releases 8K TV in time for PS5. Yes, this was shown off at CES, I believe, as well. $13,000.
That's totally. That's totally.
I think it was a different company.
That's totally. We could totally afford that.
I think a different company was at CES. I don't think Sony had it out at CES yet.
Oh, really?
Here's our $13,000 TV for your $600 console.
Well, it's an 85-inch. It's early access, or not early access, early adopter 8K TV.
Dude,
and you spend $13,000 for it. And if you want the 100-inch, it's about $70,000.
Yeah, you got to go big or go home. Buy the 98-inch for $70,000.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And you literally have nothing to watch on it. There's no 8K content at all. I think MKBHD uploaded an 8K video just for shits and giggles. That's about it. One video.
The red camera and a sharp camera, and that's the only way you're going to even get 8K footage.
Yeah.
That's it.
I do want to see it. I've never seen 8K. I want to know if it's actually. I want to see 8K with 8K content on it. I want to see if it's actually if you can see a difference. Because 4K, I mean, fuck, those pixels are so small.
I think we're getting to. Well, it will depend on the size of the TV. Like you'll be able to tell them that a 100-inch TV, and I think that's half the reason why they're releasing like 85 and 100-inch TVs at first.
They have to, right? Just so you can see a
that
difference.
Size you can see a difference, but like a normal size, like a 50-inch TV or like especially your desktop monitor or laptop, you're not fucking seeing a difference.
Yeah.
Or very minimal.
And I think like resolution is the last sort of thing that they even need to update. Like I want to see better LED arrays.
I want to see them brighter.
Yeah, I want to see them brighter. I want to see better HDR standards, better color accuracy and representation. Like, resolution is fine, dude. Like, 4K is so good already. And we don't need 8K, especially when it costs fucking, $300 just to storage the video.
One like 20-second clip.
Yeah. So dumb.
Okay, so you can get a red helium 8K for $25,000 for just the body.
Yeah,
that is your currently until Sharp comes out. That is your only and cheapest option to get 8K footage.
It just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I guess they're doing it just to kind of wag their dick around. I can't imagine 8K being the next thing. I think that's even like. I think that's like not plasma, but like that's like 3D TV, like almost a gimmick.
I think 8K does eventually have a use, and it will be a next thing. But I think we should like it. Really good HDR should be the next thing.
Right. Like how long until 8K is actually a viable thing? 5 to 10 years. People how many people even have a 4K
I'll put
TV?
It this way, can you get 4K on cable yet?
No. And none of the streaming platforms except for Netflix have 4K.
And YouTube, but only sort of.
Yeah, YouTube and Netflix, that's it. And Netflix not on everything.
But also,
so like HBO Go, Showtime, none of those are 4K.
Nope. And then Netflix is even weird too, where it's like there's times where it shouldn't be 4K, but it has to be 4K. Like Netflix won't let you use an Arri Alexa camera.
What?
Fuck your 4K. Just use an Arri. No, for like if to get the 4K rating, you can't use an Arri because it's technically upscaled. But they
Oh.
won't let you use it. You have to use like a Red, basically.
Huh. Interesting. Well, I know like
Which the Arri looks better than a Red. Fight me. It's not even a fight, and it's not 4K. 8K. We need better image quality more than 8K.
I think there is a 4K Arri, but I
There
would
is.
also agree that I hate red. I hate the way it looks. But
Well, you don't want super contrast,
super green video, green and blue.
dude. It's just if you want everything to be horror, Red's the perfect camera.
Yeah. Or like some sort of like tech. It's good for tech. You know. But I think I don't remember what I was saying. Who
I don't
cares?
But 8K is a
saying?
ways out. Don't
Yeah.
be that excited for it. Don't buy one.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, dude. It doesn't make any sense. If you do buy one, let me know. Definitely buy one and let me know how it is because I'm interested in seeing it.
Well, I'm interested in seeing it, but it's one of those just like, all right, so we got like what, soon to be 3 camera companies who can even shoot 8K in the first place.
Yeah, and how good is the
entire world.
8K? It's probably not even good 8K, you know.
So, well, yeah.
I can't imagine the sharpshooting good 8K footage.
Yeah, and that will be the third company, period.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, so there's so little that it's like, I'm gonna skip first gen on that. Is what I'm trying to say. Like the first gen's gonna be kind of shit.
Dude, but when do you think you'll get a 4K TV? Like, what'll push you to 4K?
That's the thing is like, I'm probably more inclined to get a 4K monitor before a 4K TV.
What would push you to a 4K monitor?
Lower pricing.
How
I think-
low? Like in like $200 range?
$200 to $300 range.
Like if
and
there was a
You
good
can do that.
4K monitor for like $400, would you buy it?
You can
For
do it.
Or would you just be
400?
like, I'll wait until like you're just not interested in it right now?
it would be maybe. I'm also because like if I did it, I would want something that might also handle gaming.
Yeah.
But like a lot of like if you want a good 4K monitor that also handles gaming really well with like good refresh rate,
Honestly, I
G-Sync,
would-
you're looking at least $1,000 right now.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna be honest. You don't want to game at 4K. You know,
No,
Yeah.
not right now.
unless
It
you're
would-
using console.
If
Yeah,
anything,
well, that's
it
what I was
would
gonna say is
be-
honestly I would tell you to go buy a monitor or a TV over a monitor. You're honestly going to get way more use out of it, but it's a
See, the
lot
thing is,
it's a lot more
barely-
noticeable.
I barely watch TV as it is. Like if I watch Netflix, it's on my computer. If I
Then I
play
would
games,
I would
it's
just put it
usually
on
through my capture card on my computer.
I would still just put it on your TV because you're actually going to notice that when it comes to like computer monitors, the noticeable difference between 2K to 4K or like 1440, it is noticeable, but it's not as that noticeable, especially in games.
Versus like a 2K HDR
Right.
kind of thing.
Well, but you can get it's cheaper to get a higher refresh rate 2K. You're not going to notice it that much.
Yeah.
The big selling point for 4K monitors to me always has been and always is going to be productivity. And that's literally just because you can fit more on that screen.
Yeah, like if I did get one, it would be the third monitor of my like it would be I would make it my third monitor and it would be my primarily media monitor.
That's
Yeah,
it's
like,
my
for
4K
gaming,
monitor. I have the
not gaming,
1440p that I game on, and then right next to it the 4K monitor for color correction, editing, and
Yeah, like-
Netflix.
And
Right
unless
now,
you're
I
doing
do
color
monitor
correction or productivity.
But I have to have
buy a
4K
TV.
TV, dude. My TV is decked out.
Yeah. Like right now, I don't have people over to entertain. Like maybe if I want
So you're just not in a rush to upgrade, and I'm sure many people
No,
are like
God.
you. And that's
I got
what I'm
other
saying.
things
Like 8K is so far out. It's like because 4K's been around for
Yeah.
like 6-7 years. Like it's been out for a while.
Yeah, and it's somewhat affordable.
It's just like it's not like the jump from SD to HD, where it's a drastic difference. Like remember when 1080 first came out, even 720, everyone was like, "Oh my god, it looks
Yeah.
so real." It's not that big of a difference
But,
between
10
like
1080
high
to
HD and then
480 is the
4K.
difference. Yeah, Well, again, I think it depends really on the size of the monitor. But like, if you're looking at anything under 27 inches and like thinking it's a monitor, there's very little point to getting 4K unless you absolutely need it for a specific reason.
Yeah, unless you only watch Netflix on it or you do editing, you need native 4K. Otherwise, 2K is the best bang for your buck, because you can get my 2K 144 hertz G-Sync panel was half the price of one that was 4K.
And you can find some even cheaper. Like, I mean, my main content monitor next to me that I use for extra, I got it for $100, and it's like, it's great for just content, and it's 2K. Like,
yeah, I was just interested in knowing like if there was any reason why you would want a 4K, because I think that's what a lot of people like. Kate is the same way. She's like, why do you spend all this money on 4K TV? 1080 is fine.
My Kate was like that until I actually bought it.
Well, now she won't fucking live without it.
Exactly. It's like, then I actually brought it home. And you're just like, I want to have sex in front of your TV.
You put on Chef's Table from Netflix, and you're just like, oh, this is.
Yeah, like my brother's house. Like, I'll go over there and watch sports and stuff like that. And he's got a nice 4K curved TV.
But even sports, you won't.
It's fantastic.
Sports, you won't even notice it yet.
Well, the upscaling on TVs are a lot better with cable.
It depends.
I definitely can notice it compared to my like old as fuck TV.
Yeah, you'll notice that, but it's one of those, like, what I'm trying to say is upscaling is getting good, but like, then tell them to put on Chef's Table on Netflix,
man,
and you'll
with
be
hockey. Like, I can actually see the puck.
Yeah,
just get a 2K monitor or play hockey.
No, get a 4K TV.
Play hockey.
You don't even need a 2K monitor. Just get a 4K
like,
TV.
I can skate.
See, I mean, yeah, I would tell you to go get it. Just go get like a 40-inch 4K TV.
Yeah, you could get one for a good price, and then when you get a new console, like a new PlayStation, you'll have like the output of 4K. It'll look a lot better.
Honestly, it'll be cheaper than a monitor probably. You'll get more use out of it. You can find TCL makes some really good ones, and there's a couple of brands that make really good lag. But there's also the TCLs, for example. And it's something you'll have to look into, but the TCLs do a great job of it. It's really low input lag. They also run the proper codec that you can use. You can use it as a monitor. You can actually switch it to 422 or 444 and just use it like a normal computer monitor.
Yeah, that reminds me. Like, man, I play a lot of my games off my capture card, which is fine for the most part, except for the fact that my capture card's pretty old. So the highest it goes to is 1080i.
Wait, so you play...
So interlaced, racking that.
Does it have a pass-through? Does it pass through it? Or do you play just straight off of the capture card itself?
Like, it's an internal capture card, so I just plug my HDMI right into my PC and then play right off of either the software or OBS.
Oh, wow. And there's no lag?
That's how I play Smash. Oh, there's definitely probably lag.
You don't notice it, though?
I'm used to it.
That's crazy.
Why don't you just output it?
Why don't you output to it? Why don't you just output it to a monitor? Does it not have an output?
I do. Well, it doesn't have an output, and I've tried splitters, and I've had issues with splitters.
I literally just had to. I have to get rid of my splitter because I was doing the same thing.
I'm also limited on room, so like I wish I could split, but
so you just play it right through OBS? That's funny.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you could still rock it with a splitter, but I was just gonna say, all right, here's okay.
No, they have a bunch. I've had so many issues with my splitter.
Mine's been fine, but what I was gonna say is the GoFundMe to buy Doobie Witcher 3 failed. Can we start a GoFundMe to get them?
Wait! I bought Witcher 3 though.
I know you did, but
I had to spend my own money. Yeah,
I had to buy it.
Where we GoFundMe to buy me now?
4K.
A Cam Link 4K. The guy was like $100.
I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth.
Come to join the future. For the present, the
only thing I'm looking at upgrading to a new capture card. The only issue I have is like I do capture old monitors, like old systems. So I still do need a way to capture like SD, or like Amazon S video.
Do you follow EPOS Vox? I think his name is on YouTube.
Yeah, I do. I know EPOS.
Mm-hmm.
He does a lot of like
a lot of stuff like that.
like
a lot of
capture
monitor.
cards, and he'll find
There's-
he'll
I mean,
just
He
watch
does
his
capture
YouTube.
cards.
They have
audio.
HDMI converters. Like I know that like there's a Dreamcast HDMI converter where you can
Yeah, but I think it's like different. Like you want the native
Yeah.
connections.
because I'm a huge fan of original hardware. So like if I want to play Super Nintendo, I can emulate it, but I would if I have the option, I would love to just put a card in,
Right.
hit the power button, and play.
Yeah, I was watching EPOSVox because I had to do the whole studio setup, and he does that where he does like retro gaming, and he finds like capture cards that are good for it and which ones
He's
aren't.
got the same.
Yeah,
He's got the
like
same-
mine is like don't get me wrong, mine is totally like currently the one I have right now, the internal. It's fantastic for like
What is it? What's the name of it?
it's the Avermedia CO27, otherwise known as the Black Magic. It's an old capture card.
It's,
I don't even know if
but it's an Avermedia at least.
yeah. I'm wondering if I have to see what my specs are, and maybe I might have another PCIe slot where I can move this one and open up another slot to put another capture card in for modern gaming.
I mean, dude, you don't even need a PCIe slot anymore. Just go get like a Cam Link. Cam Link 4K, it's like $100. It plugs in through USB 3 to HDMI. It does 4K 30, 1080, 60.
Lag.
Well, I would recommend you get like the PCIe one.
Because that was the thing.
because
Like
I
the
have a
original-
Cam Link and it doesn't have an out.
Yeah,
and if
the
you could-
original, like the OG capture card I bought was hot garbage. I had a Roxio game cap.
Oh
and
man,
that
I
thing
remember
had a
Roxio.
3-second built-in delay.
Yeah.
So I was splitting it to a monitor and playing, but like anything that was happening in OBS, or at the time was XSplit because OBS wasn't out yet,
Just the delayed.
was 3 seconds behind. So if I was speedrunning, I had to wait the 3 seconds before I could split after I already did the thing because of just how bad it was delayed.
Everything I'm hearing is you're just intentionally making everything possible harder for yourself. Like input lag. Like who cares if your capture card has input lag? Just get a fucking splitter and play it on a normal monitor.
I don't have room is the problem for a normal monitor. I don't have any room for it.
You have a monitor right in front of you.
Yeah.
Use that.
Nobody
I
needs it
do.
for OBS.
Splitter. Yeah, instead of OBS, just have your second monitor run your computer with your capture card and play the game on your monitor in front of you.
Oh, see, that's the other issue is
Oh yeah, you have two monitors.
Like yeah, like you already
Well,
have two monitors. Just use like a splitter.
my second monitor is a 720p TV.
So that would be your OBS monitor.
Yeah. Or like
I
Use that for OBS.
or replace
And
that
check in the
with
chat.
I need a third monitor is what I need.
or replace that with a nice 4K TV.
I definitely want a third monitor.
Or do that. But like that's
You only
that's
need
what
two.
that's what I would rather do than
Because especially during like I do have notes and stuff open
Okay.
on my other monitor usually.
So this is what you do. You upgrade to a capture card that has pass through. That way you could split it to an external monitor. You put one to OBS and then one to your game, and that's it. You don't need anything else. You have plenty of room. You don't need 3 monitors.
Nah,
I definitely need a third monitor.
I'm just even thinking like you don't even need to spend that much. Like you can get a splitter for like $10. You're just making this harder on yourself.
The splitters are off. I don't know. The splitters with the capture cards, I've been having so much trouble with them.
I've never I've gone through 3 and they've never worked.
Oh, I don't mean HDMI splitter. I mean like
Yeah, no, I've used an HDMI splitter and they've never worked for me.
yeah, no, I'm not I don't mean that. I mean like for your S video stuff, like things like that where it's like okay, so instead I have just an HDMI going to the TV and the one to the capture card.
Yeah, I bought this Rocketfish one because I have my Switch behind this monitor, and I had the Switch, and I wanted to be able to switch between the PC and the Switch with the remote. And it was working for a while, and then all of a sudden, because Windows is such a fucking piece of shit, it just stopped working for no reason, and I have no idea what's going on. So I just had to unplug it, plugged everything back in regularly, and it seemed to be fine. So it's just the splitter's just weird.
Mine works fine, but I don't have a remote. I just click the button.
But are you putting it into a capture card?
No, I'm just
That's the thing. I think the capture card's fucking it up somehow.
and yeah, that could be a thing.
I
But,
don't
like,
know
for
why
me-
though, because the The way I have it set up,
I use a splitter with a monitor on 3 computers, and it works fine. And it's not even like they're all Windows. Like it's a fucking monitor passing an HDMI signal.
yeah. No, yeah, but we'll throw a capture card in there, it's gonna fuck all this shit up. All right, what's going on in tech? Anything? Is there any
Some
tech
kids
news?
suing Apple and
Who?
a bunch of rumors.
Who's suing Apple?
There's something about a teenager suing Apple for Face ID fucking up and him getting arrested or something stupid.
What? Would he steal the phone or something? Teen sues Apple for $1 billion over false arrest. From Business Insider. Claims facial recognition led to his false arrest. 18-year-old is suing Apple for $1 billion. $1 billion. Is this kid dumb? Following what the lawsuit calls a traumatic wrongful arrest that the teen claims was a result of misidentification by Apple's facial recognition software. We first heard of the lawsuit via Bloomberg. His name is Usman Ba, a college student from New York, filed a claim against Apple on Monday. Blah, blah, blah. According to the suit, he had never been... Bob was still a high school student when he received a summons from a court in Boston accusing him of stealing $1,200 worth of Apple products, in particular Apple pencils, from an Apple store. According to the lawsuit, Bob had never been to Boston and was attending his senior prom in Manhattan on the day authorities said the theft took place. He was later accused of additional thefts from Apple stores in New Jersey, Delaware, and New York City. His arrest was in November at 4 a.m. in his home by New York State Police. The filing says the police carried out the arrest even though their warrant included a photo of a suspect who didn't resemble him. The lawsuit determined that Ba had been wrongfully... The lawsuit says the detective determined Ba had been wrongfully arrested, viewing surveillance footage from the store and seeing the suspect look nothing alike Ba. According to the lawsuit, the detective told Ba the problem might involve Apple's facial recognition, saying Apple's security technology identifies suspects of theft using facial recognition technology. This fact is concerning, particularly in light of the fact consumers are not generally aware of the defendant's use of facial recognition technology within its security system. Presumably, defendant's security system scans consumers' faces to look for matches on a list of suspects. Oh, so he might have some sort of interesting case here, actually.
And Apple came out saying that they don't use facial recognition in stores.
Yeah, so it could be, instead of him suing Apple, he should be suing
Sounds like more the police.
The police department.
Yeah.
They lied to him.
But hey, dude, Apple actually has $1 billion, so.
Right. Right. Why is he going after Apple? There's no case here. He needs to get a lawyer ASAP. A real lawyer. Yeah, this definitely, I don't see how Apple is in any of the wrong here. It doesn't make much sense.
It sounds like it's a police
issue.
It
sounds like the police lied to him and said they have his facial recognition from the stores, and then.
But this is about how exciting news has been this week. That it's like,
that's interesting.
Fucking college students trying to get a free $1 billion from Apple. That's not going to work.
Yeah. I know Razer released a laptop. The Razer Blade 17, the Razer Blade Pro, their new 17-inch laptop, which actually looks pretty nice. It looks like their 15-inch, just a little bit bigger. It's rocking Intel's new chip in it, which is the 9750H or something. I forget the exact. 9750H i7, 2.6 gigahertz up to 4.5. I believe you can configure it. Well, they actually said they made it a little bit thicker than they wanted to, because they prioritize performance over everything.
Good, you're learning.
Yeah, that's what they said. It's still pretty thin, and it's also rocking the Max-Q 2080 with a full 1080, 144 hertz panel, 17.3 inch panel.
Sounds interesting. I wish it. I want this, but just not 17-inch and a little bit chunkier.
Right.
To be honest, because I don't want a 17-inch. I don't need a desktop replacement.
No. I mean, the 15 inches is really enticing to me.
I have a big ass desktop. I'm always I like the 13 and a half 3:2 ratio. I want Apple to make that, to be honest, with a keyboard that works. But they're not going to.
No. Well, I would love
You know,
the 13-inch, but with a fucking 2080 in it. That's my
I'm good
dream.
on that. Because I don't know. For me, I do want to spend some good money on a good laptop, but again, it's for me. It's going to be it's just for work, and I don't need a 2080 for work.
See, I do.
You do, yeah. But at the same time, you have 2 desktops, and I would just tell you to keep upgrading those instead of trying to force it on your laptop.
Yeah, I have 2 desktops and a laptop.
Yeah, I would just be like, cool. The laptop's for writing scripts and not processing video.
Yeah.
Like,
But damn, I would love like a tiny little MacBook with the fucking 2080 in there. That'd be the dream. They can't figure it out. It's too hot. It gets too hot in that little chassis. But one day, we will get there one day. But yeah,
Yeah,
the
I don't
17
know.
inch is nice for a desktop replacement. It looks like the only one I would recommend right now.
I want the real
2500.
Mac Pro. I want the real Mac Pro that's portable.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted out of the Mac Mini. More than I wanted the laptop, I wanted the Mac Mini to actually be pro, so I could still throw it in a bag and like take it between work and just plug it into a monitor. Like that would have been amazing.
And what else? I think that's it. That's all I know. Anything else?
NVIDIA released another graphics card of the 10 to 11 line. I don't know. It's a 1050 replacement, but it's either the 115050 or 11650 or whatever their dumb naming scheme is now.
NVIDIA 1150. What? Really? I don't know the name. I don't think that's the name.
It might be. It honestly might be this. Or oh no, it was the
1650.
Yeah,
Right.
1650 because it's not the 1660. But
$150.
It's the 1050 replacement. Why? Why? No, like not the graphics card. The graphics card makes sense. The fucking naming structure is so fucking stupid.
Yeah, the name doesn't make any sense. But for $150, you are getting 896 CUDA cores.
You're honestly, it's a good card for the budget end. Like
4 gigs of RAM.
It's 1.7 times faster than a 1050.
Okay.
So you're getting almost twice the performance at the same price as the old 1050. Like it's a good card for the price, but it's just not that exciting.
Yeah, if you play Fortnite and League and CSGO, you rock this, you'll get some respectable frames.
Like it's for the price, it's a great new card. It's actually really cool, but it's not that interesting. The name's fucking terrible.
Yeah, it's a dumb name. And I mean, there's not been much this week. It's Easter weekend. There's never too much going on.
What I am curious about is 1650 versus 970. If this is as powerful as a 970, that would be something.
It says it's twice as powerful as the 960. So it's probably not as powerful as the 970. Well, it would be not twice as powerful as the 970. It would probably be. What is that? How would that math work out? If it's double the power of the 960.
Compute power G70 still beats it. But I don't think we've really gotten like FPS.
Scott says, aside from monitors, what are your input devices?
Logitech mice, whatever keyboards. I buy a lot of mechanical keyboards and built some, and it changes.
Logitech mice for sure.
Logitech mice for sure, though.
Yep. Their sensors are so good. Mechanical keyboard for sure. And audio equipment. Lots of audio equipment.
Okay, it's still slower than a 970.
It's slower?
It's slower than a 970.
Oh, wow.
So let's see. Witcher 3 970 is getting 70 FPS. The 1650 was getting 60. So it's about 10.
How much is a 970?
I mean, I don't know. It's a fucking 6-year-old card. I got mine for $100, so I'm not complaining.
So what the fuck, man?
I mean, it's super old card though. No one's buying. You can't buy a new 970.
You can buy it on Amazon for $500
There you go.
from EVGA. Let's see. This available from these sellers.
So that would make it that.
It's $100 for a used, very good one. It's $230
which
from
don't buy
EVGA
that.
on Amazon.
Because a 970 is very similar to a 1060. That's why I was curious. So it's still slower than a 1060.
Right.
Not by much, but it's still slower than a 1060.
Yeah.
So NVIDIA did their usual NVIDIA of like, it's a lot better, but it's not better. We like really like hitting our making you pay more.
No, well, I have to give NVIDIA credit. There is a card at every fucking price point. Any price point you want, they will have a card for you. Preferably a new card too, you know? I mean, you go down from $150 all the way up to $1,200. There's a card for each fucking price point.
G402, baby, not G403. Sorry, in chat.
Mine is a 703 wireless.
Ew. No, I have a wireless one though for my laptop. But
These wireless mice are sick.
they're nice. Ooh,
Is there camera news?
there's Fuji sales.
I think there was some Canon rumors. I bought an A6000 for the studio. Hopefully it's here tomorrow.
Honestly, I think that's a good idea.
It's basically a webcam. I'm using it as a webcam. It's $400.
And that, no, like it's great for that. But the downside with that one is you can't do,
There's no 4K.
you know, well, no, it's not even that there's no 4K. I wouldn't expect it at that price. It's still the 1080 is good enough. It's still got what XAVSC.
They all do.
Yeah. Well, no, the older ones don't. But what I was gonna say is it doesn't have mic or hot shoe. But for what you're using it for, that you don't need it.
I think there's a mic on it, a mic input.
Nope.
No?
Nope. Any Sony camera that's not full frame only has like no mic input or they're stupid
Oh,
hot shoe.
right. Yeah. Yeah, you have to get the hot shoe adapter.
Yeah. And then the 5000 doesn't have a hot shoe.
Hot shoe, cold shoe, whatever it's called. Hot shoe because it's
Because it's got the
live.
stupid connector in it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to
That's-
use their proprietary mic.
Yeah, that's what really killed that camera for me. But for like what you're using it for, that's like perfect.
Yeah,
It's
I
like a
used
good
it
camera.
for a year when I first jumped into DIY or Die. It was the first camera I bought. It was my first Sony back in, leaving the Canon realm. And I loved it. And then I quickly upgraded to the A7 II from there. It's just because it was just limited.
I have thought about buying one of those, but I'm not going to.
A7 II?
Yeah.
It's a great camera. I
Yeah,
used that for
like $900.
almost 2-3 years. I sold that. I sold the A7 II.
But you can buy a Fuji XA10 for $330.
I don't know what that is.
It's a very, very basic Fuji camera.
Oh no, I'm not interested.
But it's got a flip up screen.
That's
mic
that's the thing. All those fucking little basic cameras all have flip up screens, and then as soon as you go prosumer, they take them away.
Yep. No mic inputs, nothing. 1080, shitty 1080 by the way. It's great for pictures and it has a flip up screen.
Yeah, it's a piece of shit. But Canon might be releasing a new 32.5 megapixel APS-C sensor to replace the 80D, which is the vlogging camera. So all the vloggers use. So they're going to be replacing the 80D. Some people are thinking it's going to be the 90D. But this should come out in 2019, and there's also a camera coming out to replace the EOS M100, I believe. So 2 APS-C sensors coming out of Canon, which should be interesting.
I heard about the M100 replacement, which is like, why? So
Yeah.
it's another one of your weird M50 clones like the SL3.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing. Well, they sell really well in Japan for some reason. I think that the the Kiss, whatever they call it, the brand. I don't remember.
Yeah, the Kiss X10, which is the SL3.
It's like the #1 selling camera in Japan. So they like that weird sort of market. I'm interested in seeing what this new APS-C ADD replacement is going to be.
That could be interesting.
If it comes with 4K, damn, the vloggers are going to be happy.
Until they learn how much it crops.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't crop.
It's going to crop because ADD...
I don't care if it crops. I hopefully it doesn't crop as
gonna,
much as it normally does.
It's going to crop that bad because it's an ADD. It's coming out. It's less than a Canon. It's less than the R. It's going to come out more at that RP price range. If the RP crops, it's going to crop.
Yeah. Well, it's a DSLR, so you'd be using the EOS lenses.
It's gonna be.
So it could be the only one in that range, other than the Mark IV, that you might get, because it's APS-C, so they can do 4K APS-C easily.
Yeah, but they're still gonna crop the shit out of it.
Let's hope not.
No, they're going to.
And let's hope they put.
Literally, what I expect it to be is it's the RP. It's the DSLR version of the RP.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like an SL3 RP.
Yeah.
It'll be good, but it'll also.
Or it could be the SLR3, but the step up from that.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be a step up from the SL3, but I expect it to be like the RP, where it's like it's gonna crop slightly less, but it's still gonna crop in 4K, and there's gonna be some like weird, stupid quirks because they're gonna try to push you up to either buying the 5D or the R.
If they were smart, they would give you 4K. They would give you everything the ADD has with 4K, because that's what all the ADD users would do. They would upgrade to whatever this is, and then just have a little bit extra features. So there's no point in them. There's no point in them basically recloning the ADD.
No, but they're still gonna do that anyway. They're just gonna. That's my guess. I think it's gonna be an RP.
Yeah. And then there's a 28 f1.8 and a 50 f1.8 RF patents that have been filed, which are interesting. And there was a new EOS R update that I got, which gives you eye detection and servo autofocus, which is really, really nice. The Canon's autofocus is so fucking good, dude. It's insane. It's insane. And they just keep making it better and better. All right. Oh, whoa. Breaking news. A leaked document suggests that Canon has a 63 megapixel full frame image sensor in the works. After speaking with a couple of people, it turns out this image sensor has no chance of ever making it to a consumer product. Yeah, one person said its likely application is security if it ever actually makes it into production. Yeah. So there's that. 63 megapixel. What? Full frame image sensor.
Yeah,
no, they were also talking about how they had an 8K sensor in the works as well.
That's what I could see him doing, but at the same time, like, I don't want a 63 megapixel sensor, dude.
No,
I'm not making wall art. All right, like.
I know. And one of their cameras is like they were talking about like 83 megapixels or something, which is insane. Yeah, the EOS M50, that's what the Kiss is. The EOS Kiss M is the M50, and that is #1 in Japan with this 6400 following.
And then the SL3 series is the Kiss X10, or the Kiss X9 is the SL2. It's the Kiss X, whatever.
Guess where the A6000 comes in?
Probably lower, just because it's old now.
6th. It's the 6th best-selling camera in Japan. Wow. Olympus is 3rd. Fuji's not even on the list.
No, Olympus kills, and it's for
why?
I mean, stabilization, dude.
PL8. The hell?
Yeah, no, people if they're not taking video, or if they're not doing like production work, like, dude, that it's literally all that fucking IBIS. It's all that IBIS. Their IBIS is king.
Their camera's trash.
But
I'll trash Olympus any day. Interesting.
I'm going Fuji though. Fuck it, dude.
Yeah, I think you should.
No, I already set that in the works.
Whenever you ordered it?
Whenever B&H comes back from Passover.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're still in Passover?
Yeah, they're in like Passover for like a week or something.
Yeah. Why is there a sale going on? You can't get it at Amazon?
No, I just if I'm gonna buy a camera, I trust B&H more than Amazon. Put it that way.
What are the lenses you use? Oh man.
Well, I'm switching to Fuji now, so nothing. But I used to be a big Canon user, so I have a lot of EOS glass lying around, or like the ES line, and that's why I want that speed booster for the Fuji.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because I already have glass for it. But my favorite lens of all time is a Nifty 50 1.4.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's great.
Solid little lens.
It's fucking great.
The one on my Canon it basically stays on the Canon is the 24 to 104 f4.
That's a great lens
RF.
too. Yep, that one's
It's
sick,
so
man.
awesome. It's got a little multifunction thing on the front. It's got silent autofocus, stabilization. It's excellent. It covers the range. And it's a video camera primarily, so I don't need the wide open, f1.2. But
Well,
the Sonys, I have all the G Masters. I use all the G Masters. Spent fucking almost 10 grand on all those lenses.
I think, like honestly, dude, I think F4 is super underrated.
Oh,
Like
it is.
full frame F4 is like
It
perfect.
looks so good.
Unless
you
you're
don't
doing
want it to
portrait
be
photography.
right. You don't want the background to be extremely blown out, where it looks like you're in a dream. Like you still want to see what the scene looks like, and that's what F4 gives you. It blurs
But that-
it, but it looks. You
It
can still
doesn't-
kind of
it's not
understand
just
where you're
because-
at,
Yeah. No, that's why I'm
and the
super
focus
interested.
isn't so shallow. Like any movement, you're falling out of focus.
Fuji just came out with one I'm super interested in, which is a 16 mil prime f2.8, which for their crops ends up being a 24 at f4.
Yeah.
And like that's everything I want basically.
And then on the Canon I use the 10 to 18 for like any sort of vlogging because that's so wide and you basically get everything in shot. I mean, I hold the camera like this far in front of me and I get everything. So I love that 10 to 18. But Sony, yeah, I use all the G Masters. I love those lenses. They are so good. They did really good job on the G Master lenses. They cost so
They
much
did.
money, but they
I
hold
was
the
gonna
value.
say,
If you ever want to sell it, I mean, you sell it for the same price you bought it for.
I don't got G Master cash. I got
Yeah.
used ES line cash, or EFS and EF lines. Because
It hurts.
that's why I love that 10 to 18. Is it's like, yeah, dude, like
It's a
if you ever
badass
break
little
it, you
lens.
can go buy a used one for like $200.
Yeah, they're awesome little fucking lenses. The G Master, yeah, it hurts every time you go to buy one. But then you use it and you're like, oh, this is why. But damn, I mean, when I bought the 70 to 200, man, that's almost a $3,000 lens. It's more than the camera.
You know,
Lens is fucking insane though.
I don't,
and I
don't
never
really
use
catch
it. I
No,
never
exactly.
use it.
No,
I use it maybe
whenever
2,
you're in
3
your
times.
office and you had that in your background, I think you missed it most of the time. But I was making fun of you like almost every time I was in chat.
I
and
never
just like
use
that.
it.
That's yep. I see that 70 to 200 right where a 70 to 200 belongs.
Yep. But I'm going to use it with the A6000 as that crop camera. You'll see when I set it up tomorrow. Hopefully it's in by tomorrow.
What are you gonna
It'll
do?
look
Like,
nice.
just duct tape it to your ceiling.
Well, what you do is you attach the camera to it, and then you attach the lens to the tripod because that's how
Yeah.
fucking big it is compared to the A6000.
Yeah, no, so you're not gonna put a 6,000 on.
Yeah,
that.
it looks so fucking funny. But yeah, I have that. I have the 24 to 70. I have the 16 to whatever it is, 35. There's a new 135 that I don't need to get because I have an 85 Zeiss Batis that is like my portrait lens. And that's it. I'm done buying Sony glass. Everything else is going to go to Canon glass. I basically covered everything in the Sony world. It's got everything I need.
I mean, well, yeah.
I wanted to sell that 70 to 200 so many times. I'm so glad I didn't. Every time I'm just like, nah, I'll use it with capture someone's fucking pores or something. But now I have a use for it. Hopefully.
I mean,
Hopefully it looks
if
good.
you want to do light vlogging, there's nothing wrong with an RX 100. I just
Yeah, that's what Gator Don't Play says.
He was asking, yeah.
Sony 100 Mark V. I have one. It's awesome.
Yeah,
Kate,
it's
Kate
pretty good
loves
for
that
what it is.
camera. Kate loves it. When we travel, I bring my DSLR and she brings that little thing around.
Well, that's why
And it shoots 4K. It shoots great 4K.
I'm switching to an XT30, and part of the reason is just because it's barely bigger than that. And like the body of the XT30 is like 330 grams.
No, it's big. It's a lot bigger than it when you consider
It
the
is.
lens.
No,
But
the
it's
lens-
not as big as like a fucking EOS R or a 1DX.
Oh, God, no. It's smaller, dude. It's smaller than my old Canon DSLR by far, and that was really Canon DSLRs when they were already tiny compared to how like the Mark V's are now. And
Yeah.
stuff.
Scott says, build up enough rep. Canon and Nikon will send you their best class. I would love that.
That's
the
my goal with
dream.
Fuji.
That's the
because-
dream. All right, you do that with Fuji. I'll do it with
No,
Canon.
Dude, join me in Fuji land. Like when you get a chance, I'll drive down and we can shoot a video together, because even Fuji's own YouTube channel they only have like 70,000 subs. Basically, if you break 10,000 subs, they just send you shit.
Really?
Because there's not enough people shooting Fuji.
Do some reviews, man. Once you get it in, shoot some reviews.
Yeah, we just got to start. We just got to start doing some team videos. I'll come visit, etc., and we'll just like
Potato
try to
jet
pimp
style.
out Fuji.
No, I love Fuji. I love their photos. Their photos are
photos are
like,
nice.
I see them on it, like people who do like the hashtag Fuji frames on Instagram. They look so good, dude. In my opinion, it goes Canon with color and then Fuji right underneath them, and it's close. Fuji any day now can overtake Canon in their color, because they kind of have like a red color going on, but it's done correctly. Like it's done more in a more technical, accurate way. Where red, it's almost like they turned the tint down.
I mean, yeah, I like it. I think was mostly impressed was they're getting a lot better at autofocus.
It was a lot better than
Getting a lot
Panasonic.
Yeah, they're getting a lot better at autofocus. They're getting a lot better at video in general, but they've always been bomb for photography. But their lens selection is just the best in APS-C. The downside is it's just APS-C. So that's why I'm still thinking I'm gonna get that speed
And
boost.
medium format.
Yeah, in medium format.
They don't have a fucking full frame. But people
No.
don't want them, they said.
Basically, but it's also like,
They don't want them to
I don't-
focus on that when they could focus on a good APS-C body.
and
That's
I
what
kinda
I've heard.
get that. And like what I was thinking is, all right, so I still have Canon glass. I'm just gonna get a speed booster for it to use the Canon glass. And if I want to vlog with that camera, I'm just gonna get another 10 to 18 for $200. Throw it on the speed booster, because the way the Fuji cameras work, it's 6K video cropped down to 4K for all their 4K. So there is no crop on anything other than 120 frames 1080, which is a slight crop. So if you rock that speed booster, everything is at a 1.07 crop.
Yeah.
Don't really need full frame. And then you can just switch back to APS-C and rock their prime line is just insane.
Yeah, I haven't seen any footage of the speed booster on the Fuji.
I haven't, so I'm not sold on doing that yet, but I think that's probably what I'm gonna investigate. 'Cause
Whoa,
they
there's an
just-
outage
they
on
just came
Discord.
out.
Our server went out. What the hell? Our
What
no
do you
life
mean?
server went out. Fucking Discord, what's going on? You said there was an update on Discord?
I don't know. There was, yeah, I had an update because now all my stuff's different.
No, it's working on PC, but it closed on mobile. Interesting. But no, yeah, I haven't seen any footage of the Fuji.
The
Speed
speed booster just came out, so I'm not. We'll see. I'm not sold on that, but it's just one of those like, yeah, I already have enough class that I'll spend $200 to try it.
You won't even need it, I don't think.
I honestly won't, dude. Some of their class is so fucking good.
Well, you would only want it if you wanted to go wide. And they have
Yeah.
wide glass. They have like an 8mm, I think.
Yeah, for $1,000.
Is it?
Yeah,
Well, it's there if you need it. If you need to go that wide, it's there.
yeah, it is there. But like all of their prime line, the XF prime line, they're all like $400 a piece, and they're insane. So like, we'll see. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'll have fun.
All right, everyone. That's it for the show. Hopefully you all enjoy it. We will be back next Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Going live tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. Going live Thursday. Going live Friday, Saturday. Every day we're going live. Trying to figure out exactly the best times to go live. But definitely Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays we're going live. And all of the schedule is up on the channel. You could also head over to our website, nolife.digital, if you want to sign up for the podcast, check out all our videos, our articles, hit up our Twitter. Everything that we do goes up over on the website. And if you want to follow us over on social media, follow us at No Life Digital on Twitter. All right, everyone. We'll catch y'all later. Peace.